Welcome, everyone. This is the Air Conservation Commission, Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information related to participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director at cknox@ayer.ma.us or at 978-772-8252. Commissioners that are in attendance this evening are Jenna, member, George Bacon, member, Jess Eugenio, clerk, Mark Phillips, vice chair, and myself, John Schmallenberger, chair. So welcome, everyone. We have a change to the agenda. I've heard, which is that there's no new information on 111 Fitchburg Road, so that we are going to scratch that from our agenda. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, everything else is as written?
It is.
All right. Is there a motion to confirm the agenda as written?
Or as amended.
As amended. Yep.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion has passed. Do we, approval of meeting minutes? Is there any discussion about the meeting minutes from 10/22/2020? Any corrections, comments? Nicely written as usual. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes as for 10/22/2020 as written?
So moved.
Second.
Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote? George, how do you
Aye.
vote? Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. The motion has passed. Do we have any accounts payable?
We do not.
Great. And I see there is the next item is public. So can you tell us what that means, Joanne?
We have received a letter that you have in your packets from a resident who has some concern about Schoolhouse Pond, which is behind his property on East Main Street. And Ann Hard, I see, is here with us. Ann, could you unmute?
Ann, are you with us?
Let's see.
Can you hear us?
Oh, we heard you briefly.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can.
Yep, absolutely.
So are you and Hugh both on the line?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. I'm here.
Oh, very good. Well, welcome to the meeting. The commissioners have received a copy of Hugh's letter, and we're under time constraints tonight. So you have 10 minutes to speak with the commission about your concerns.
Okay. Behind my
Yes.
house, the house next to me is the west end of Schoolhouse Pond.
Oh.
It has been
I can't hear.
receiving all the silt from the drains, from the road drains. One drain is completely plugged up.
Hugh, we can't really hear you very well.
How about that? Can you hear me better now?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, behind the schoolhouse pond, the west end of schoolhouse pond has been filled up with silt from the roads. And all the wildlife is disappearing because the water level is non-existent. It's just like a mud flat. And even with a lot of heavy rain, there's only a couple inches of water. Now that used to be 6 feet deep when I bought the place. Now it's just a few inches deep, even after a rain. I would like to know how to address removing the silt and sludge from that west end of Schoolhouse Pond, which I'm not sure who's responsible for it or if there's anything I can do to move this along.
Well,
It's,
you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the pond, the bottom of the pond is privately owned. Is that correct?
yes, I own the most of the west end, and Mrs. Brown's old house, the house next to me, which is at the very end, they own some of that too. And I own right up to the tracks, well, 10 feet away from the tracks. And the bottom of the pond is, that's part of my parcel.
And are you asking for the town to pay for dredging of Schoolhouse Pond?
Well, the west end, if it's just all the silt that comes from the road, I would think this town would be responsible for all that washout. Especially the new development they put on Central Street. They didn't have any barriers or anything, and all their mud just filled in the pond. That was the last straw that really filled it up.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't have much experience with this sort of thing. Are there any other commission members that could chime in here and give us some guidance?
I guess the only one thing I would wonder is,
Thank you, Jim.
we are
Uh-huh.
6, 7, 8, maybe 10 inches less rain than normal. I mean, might that play a little bit into what you're seeing in the last
Oh,
couple years?
sure,
that's
but
been dry?
it's never gone completely empty like that. It's not just empty, it's filled up. It's full of silt. I mean, the wildlife you can't see, it's just gone. That was filled with wildlife. And then after they did that development, that was the last straw. It just filled the rest of the pond, that west end up. And I assume, yes, it would cost money to deal with this. I don't know whose responsibility it is, but it's something that needs to be addressed. That's all. And I would hoping that you could help me out on this.
Well,
There's two issues here. There's who's responsible, and then how would you go about doing it in terms of permits and such. I think we can look into what the permitting requirements would be. We could contact DEP and get some more information.
Yeah, the DEP I would think that would be a good start.
Yeah. And then as far as the town, we have no authority to go in and do anything like that, or to raise money. It would either be the DPW or through the selectmen.
George, when you say we have no authority, you're talking about the Conservation Commission, right?
Right.
Okay.
So maybe set up some communication with DPW first, and then maybe then go to the selectmen.
Does that help you out?
Well, yeah, it helps me out if you can say I talked to you and I don't know, should I contact the DPW or is that,
Well, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I would think that would be better.
but don't you have any say in that this has been overrun with silt by the town? So the town, I would think, would be responsible, just like they would clean a catch basin. It's really been a catch basin for the town over the years, and nobody has dredged it at all. And they have one line, one drain line from Central Street that's plugged up, and that's a concern because that water's going to flood out somewhere else.
Well, I don't think that's our purview. I think we need to have a conversation with the DPW and start there.
Okay.
I do know that dredging is hideously expensive, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions.
Well, I don't think it would cost that much because you're just talking about one end of the pond.
Yeah,
Well, something to find out.
Yeah.
We
DPW
really,
would be your best bet. Yeah, we don't have a budget for anything that would cover anything.
Okay. Well, if he says go talk to you, then I can say, well, I already have.
well, okay, I don't think he will, but it'd be nice to start a conversation with them and see what they think.
Yeah, see what they can do. You know, they've got all this equipment in town now, so it really would only take an excavator to do the job from one side there. Excavator and some dump trucks, but depending on what you did with the sludge. But
Okay, all right. I think we need to close this out.
okay,
Thank you for coming to us and good luck.
thank you.
All right. So our first item this evening is the public meeting, RDA at number 52 Sandy Pond Road. And this is Merle Hoffman. Is Ms. Hoffman with us this evening?
Hello.
Hello.
There she is.
So yes, I'm Meryl Hoffman, and I sent in some paperwork because I wish to have some very large pine trees removed, and my property abuts Flanagan's Pond. I had talked to someone from the Conservation Commission. It's a number of years ago now. It was probably back in 2013, maybe, about the removal of these large pines. There's one in particular that really has me nervous because it is definitely on its way out. And the past couple of years, it's been dropping some big nasty branches during the storms. I've got a couple of others that are a little less threatening, but due to the size and the age of the trees, I have to get a large crane to come in and take it down safely. And the person who will be handling the work, he's the former tree warden from Dunstable. I used to live in Dunstable for 25 years, so he had done work for me there. He says we have to bring in the crane, and he said that the other large ones should probably come out while the equipment is present, because renting this crane is rather expensive. And he said, given the age and condition of these other couple of large pines and their close proximity to the house, I would probably find myself facing this task somewhere 5 years down the road. So he recommended just do it now while you got the crane there. And the plan is to take the tree out, lay it across my front yard, and cut it up for removal.
Well, we generally don't have a problem with removal of trees that threaten your house. So that's not really the issue. Would you be opposed to us coming and doing a site walk and taking a look?
No, I don't have a problem with it. In fact, as I said, I had come. I thought I was going to get this done sooner, and then my car died, so I ended up spending the money on a new used car. But yes, the previous commission had looked and kind of agreed to that. It's a limited number. I'm trying to preserve as many trees as I possibly can because I do love my trees. But definitely there's the one which, if you're facing the house from the road, it's on the left side, and that is the most problematic and threatening at this time, according to my tree guy. And then there are others on the other side, on the right side of the house, that my lot is kind of wedge shaped, and so it's over on that side.
Could we set up a site walk? A lot of the commissioners are new, and we just generally like to take a look. So if you don't mind, could we set up, are people available this coming Saturday? It sounds like a pretty nice day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody available for Saturday, November 7th
Okay,
at what, 9 o'clock,
that's fine with me.
8:30?
8:30?
8:30 is good.
8:30 is fine with me too.
All right. Mark, if it's an issue, we can probably go, go earlier. I know Jess would.
7 a.m.?
There you go. Really?
It works. Do it.
when you get up to 5 in the morning, I might say no on a Saturday.
Well, it'll still be dark at 5.
Okay.
7 will be light.
Yeah. 8 o'clock is fine with me. Would you like me to go and put like yellow ribbon or, something around the trees that
Yeah, if you could
I
do
planned
that.
it?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pardon?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
How
our
about-
final time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So, Ms. Hoffman, we will see you in 2 days. at
Okay.
8 a.m.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Our next item this evening is the public hearing notice of intent at 0 Central Avenue. Mr. John Hillier, DEP file number 100-0451. And I see Mr. McKay, you are with us this evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, you've
And
been
good
well?
evening, commissioners.
You've been well?
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Yes, hope you're all well too.
Yeah, we are. And Kyle Bouchard, you're with us as well.
Yes, sir. How are you tonight?
Good. I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Very good. Thanks.
All right. What do you have for us?
Well, when we were here last, Mr. Chairman, I think 2 weeks ago, we had Mr. Burchard had walked the commission through the plan for the site and the NOI. I took from it at the end that there weren't any remaining questions as to where the trees were going to be planted and things of that nature. And I think we've set that out in the plan. So happy to answer any remaining questions that folks had about the restoration plan. When we last talked, there was discussion about a site visit. I understand that the commission has determined that that's not necessary, and so that I think that's where we left off last time. But I'm happy to answer any questions, and Mr. Burchard as well, that you have regarding the NOI. Our hope is that we can get that closed out. We'd like to move forward with that. So happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
All right. Any commissioners have questions or comments concerning the notice of intent? Joanne, do you have anything?
My question centers around how the applicant is going to address the technical comments from DEP when the file number was issued. We haven't received any new information, and the file number comments are looking for more information.
Do you?
So,
go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No, go ahead, please.
So I'm going from memory. I don't have that in front of me, but I believe that there were 2 comments from DEP, one of which addressed the issue of a replication area, and that was specific to the square footage that I think relates to the proposed maintenance of the drainage area. And our strong desire is to not do a replication, and this is really for practical purposes. I'll say at the outset that Mr. Hillier, being able to do the maintenance work that he's requested in the drainage area is not out of any self-interest. There's no real reason that he wants to do that work for his building or for that property. The request really comes for 2 reasons. One of which is that that the channel has gotten filled over the years with silt from the stormwater runoff from Central Street, which is really a town issue, but at the same time, I don't think we have any real interest in pointing fingers one way or another. We just want to be able to address the problem to the extent that the buildup of silt in the channel causes drainage problems in the future for Mr. Hillier. I also don't think that he's dying to get out there in the immediate future to do that, but we just want to be able to do that work if it becomes necessary. The second reason for that is that there's language in the deed to Mr. Hillier that that attempts to establish and preserve a status quo with respect to drainage coming off of the railroad property or going to the railroad property through that channel. And so to avoid any potential disputes with the railroad that we're either increasing runoff to their property or somehow cutting off runoff because of the silt and the backup in the channel, we just want the ability to keep that channel clean. So given the nature of why we're making that request, the quality of that area in terms of real habitat value or anything like that being extremely low, we would like the ability to have the ability to do that work if it's needed, without coming back for some kind of an NOI in the future. So that's the reason that we made that request, and that's how we would like to proceed relative to the DEP's comment on that particular issue. The second issue raised by the DEP comment was with respect to a stormwater checklist, and Mr. Burchard and I talked about that this morning, and we're happy to provide that checklist. Our suggestion, just in the interest of kind of efficiency and hoping to keep things moving along, is that the the commission can vote to approve the NOI, issue the order of conditions, subject to us submitting the stormwater checklist, and assuming that Joanne doesn't have any questions with the checklist, that would be sufficient to for us to be able to close that out tonight. So we're happy to submit the stormwater checklist, which I don't think is, Mr. Broussard can certainly comment on it. I don't get the impression that that's a very complicated document in this circumstance.
That would be correct. In this circumstance, the stormwater checklist is, there's really nothing to it. We're not really proposing anything other than to, as Mr. McKay said, to remove the accumulated sediments for the ongoing maintenance then of that drainage way, armored as it is below the accumulated sediments. So it's a straightforward document to provide. We'd be happy to do that.
Okay. Any comments from commissioners?
Excuse me, I have a comment.
From
I'm Ruth.
commissioners first, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, from the commissioners first. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Everyone okay with no questions, comments?
Could I have a comment, please?
Sure.
This is Ruth Maxant Schultz.
Good evening, Ruth. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Sure.
I do have a problem with the stormwater that has been accumulating on Central Avenue in front of the transformer. When Mr. Hillier put in the transformer, he also paved in front of that. And that prevents the stormwater from flowing into the stream bed where it's supposed to. And instead of doing that, it comes down Central Avenue and then goes across my property, making a gully on my property where there never was a gully before. And I spoke with the DPW about it, and they said that Mr. Hillier had not spoken to them about his paving when he paved it, and they do realize that it's a problem with the stormwater there in front of that transformer. And I would think that that should be addressed, because that should be remediated or made correct, that the water would then go back down in front of the transformer where it used to and go into that stream bed that's been there for so long.
Well, okay, I understand your issue. I'm not sure that it's part of what we're talking about as, as the notice of intent. I mean, it's an issue, but it's a different issue.
Okay.
Does that, I'm not sure who to address to get that.
Okay. Is it something I should bring up as a separate issue with the board then? Because it is creating a gully, damaging my property, and it's a problem. Like 2 or 3 inches of water sitting there on the roadway when people are trying to drive by. It's not a good situation.
Yeah. George, do you have any insight into this?
I'm thinking it's more of a DPW issue than a conservation issue. Just work in the paved area. I mean, where it's making a gully on your property, Ruth, is that in the buffer zone, or is that outside the buffer zone?
Oh, where the transformer was put was in the buffer zone, yes. And the paving it's within 100 feet of the stream. It's to the west side of the stream, not the east side. And why the water is flowing across my property is the east side of it, instead of going where it used to go.
Well, again, I think this is a separate issue.
Okay, all right, it's fine. I'd bring it up as a separate issue, but it has become an issue though, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
okay.
Anything else?
Nope, thank you, that's fine.
All right, well, thank you, Ruth. Are there any other comments from commissioners or from anyone who is viewing or listening on Zoom? Nope. Okay, is there a motion to approve the notice of intent at 0 Central Avenue, Mr. John Hillier, DEP file number 100-0451, dependent upon getting the stormwater charts, stormwater
Checklist. Checklist.
Stormwater checklists.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, Eugenio, how do you vote? Aye. Mark Phillips?
Aye.
How do you vote? And chairman votes aye, so it passes unanimously. And so then you can work on orders for that, Joanne? Do we need to make a motion and vote on, since I'm not doing a site walk, on just foregoing the site walk? Is that something that we need to do? You're muted, Joanne.
No.
No?
I think it would be a good idea to have it reflected in the minutes. But you guys, of course, can make your own decision.
Any comments on that from the commissioners?
I mean, I think it's probably not necessary, but it wouldn't hurt to do it. So,
Okay.
When we vote on it, we don't just identify that it's in the minutes.
yeah, I mean, to also be clear, we have observed the site from off the property in the past, so I feel myself familiar enough with the layout.
Okay. All right. It'll be in the minutes that we didn't do it and that we approve not doing it. Okay. Any other comments?
John, we've got about a minute left for this.
Got a minute left. We have a minute.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I do have two other questions just for kind of clarity of the record. You'll certainly recall that there were two issues that led to the notice of intent. Those were the enforcement orders that the commission had issued, and the notice of intent was filed for the purpose of having those withdrawn. So I don't know the degree to which that's going to be reflected in the order itself, but for my own benefit and for my clients, I would like to have that reflected in the record and have a vote from the commission with respect to the withdrawal of the enforcement orders, and those are attached to the NOI filing, I would add. And then the second piece related to that is to authorize the dismissal of the violation notices that were issued and filed with the district court. So we'd like to close out all those issues at the same time.
Are you talking about the fines?
Correct. The enforcement orders and the tickets, the fines. Yes.
Okay. Can we have that added into the orders?
Well, can we discuss that? I would probably prefer to make the dismissal of the fines contingent on the completion of the planting of the trees.
Whoa. That won't be now until spring, will it?
yeah, but they can sit and collect dust in the limbo without any impact, the fines. But I think having some assurance that this will get done would be, I don't know. George, what do you think?
I don't know, I wasn't leaning in that direction. I'd probably go with keeping the enforcement order in place and just, go on file, and then I'd be willing to forgive the fines.
Any other comments from commissioners?
Fine going with either of those suggestions as long as we have something in place that kind of does give like reason to complete the NOI.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman, may I comment on that? Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off any commissioners.
Sorry, Mr. McKay. Yeah, I just, I guess I'm leaning a little bit towards Jess's thought process, in the sense that this is, unfortunately, has gone on quite a long time, Mr. McKay, and yeah, we've gotten to the point now where, planting might not be able to take place. I'd like to say that I think we've definitely turned the corner, and John has really demonstrated, stepping up and everything. But truth be told, in the past, we've had a long, drawn-out situation here, and I really want to see the trees be planted before, otherwise we have no leverage, and we go back to starting the whole process again.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I can understand the. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I didn't mean to cut anyone off.
Okay, go right ahead. Yep. Fine.
Okay. So I certainly understand the commission's desire to make sure that the work gets done. I can tell you that, that hopefully Kyle and I being here and the knowledge that Mr. Hillier has paid for us to be here is evidence of his intent to see this through. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the tree stock and the work done before the end of the season. So I do want to be candid about that. I had talked to Mr. Hillier about that, and I know he was looking into trying to get the tree stock, but I neglected to ask him when we spoke earlier today as to whether or not he had secured that. So I can't, if it's not this fall, it'll certainly be in the spring, and we'll get that done. I am concerned with regard to they're sort of two very related but separate issues. The one is the tickets with the district court, have already been filed, and we had actually already received a hearing notice on those, and we were able to push that out for a period of time. They haven't been rescheduled yet, to my knowledge, but at some point the court will look to reschedule those. So to the extent that those aren't dismissed, they're just kind of hanging out there. So I would like to have all of them dismissed, and the commission can always issue an enforcement order to Mr. Hillier if he doesn't get the work done by a specific date. And my strong preference would be to have that slate wiped clean, with an understanding from the commission that if he doesn't, finish the work by such a, we can certainly pick a date for you to establish that, that the commission will issue another enforcement order. So that's my preference on how we go about doing that, because certainly our understanding and our hope was that, with the submission and the approval of the NOI and the issuance of an order of conditions, that that would in fact wipe the slate clean. But I understand where you're coming from with respect to you want to make sure that the work gets done, and we're committed to doing that.
Is there any simple way with which to push off the hearing, I guess?
What?
Say that again, please.
Is there a simple way that we can push off the hearing or before the courts? I mean, can that be pushed out 6, 9 months, something like that? I mean, is that something that we have the ability to do, or does the court do that themselves? I don't know the answer. I'm asking the question.
Well, I've got a little info about that. When the tickets were brought forward for a hearing, that was at Mr. Hillier's request. And in talking with Mr. Hillier and the clerk of courts, that request was withdrawn, and the way it was left with the clerk of courts is that they are going to wait to hear from one party or the other before they set a new date for a hearing.
Okay, so then we could easily reach out to them and say, we would like to put this off until August 1st of 2021, let's say.
I don't even think we need to reach out and say that to them. They're waiting to hear that either we want to move forward with a hearing or Mr. Hillier wants to move forward with a hearing. They're not going to do anything until they hear from one of us.
Okay, so that's fair then too. So I guess, Mr. McKay, I guess I see this as being no real different than a bond that we would we would ask a developer to hold, right? Unfortunately, it's not a bond, but as we were saying, it's kind of our only leverage to make sure that this gets done. And it's very simple. Obviously, we're planting 12 trees, but again, I think I think we have the right, and we should be doing that.
Really need to move on here.
We need a vote.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
We're way over time.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I was wondering.
Mr. Chairman, I can be very brief, and I have a suggestion on how to move forward with that, recognizing the concern that's been raised. So the continuance from the court is completely subject to the court. So the court may be fine with giving us a continuance, but they also may issue a hearing date and tell us that they want it resolved one way or another before the work has been done. So that's part of what's driving my concern. So my suggestion in terms of I guess a little bit of a compromise would be that the commission authorize the dismissal of the tickets, but that your enforcement orders stay open and you don't formally withdraw them until we've actually completed the work. And so that way you have your enforcement orders, they're still open, they're not formally closed. But from my point, and I'm particularly sensitive to this right now in the age of COVID, because the communication from the courts is not always that great. I would like to close out at least that piece of it if we can, and then the commission still has its enforcement orders open and can enforce based on those open orders if needed.
And if the enforcement orders are still open, then we can still be, then at some point in time, we can start writing tickets again.
Right.
I'd be happy with keeping the enforcement order in place and forgiving the tickets myself.
Yes, and I'd be fine with that, but I would like us to set a firm date, deadline. Joanne, what do you think would be reasonable for the expectation of trees being planted next in the spring?
In the spring. What did you say, Mark?
June 1st.
Yeah, I was going to say May 15th, but somewhere in around there.
Probably June would be safer, wouldn't it? Early June.
So let's do June 1st. And make it clear that if that deadline's not complied with, then we would start as of that date issuing new tickets. And at that point, I would be inclined not to negotiate for any forgiveness of those fines at that point.
Yep.
I agree with Jess.
And you write that into the order.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay?
So we need a motion.
Motion to well, we don't need to do anything with the enforcement order. So motion to forgive the
Yeah, and issue an order of conditions.
and issue an order of conditions. And we're gonna write the forgiveness of the tickets in the order.
Yeah, I guess we could, and then,
Wouldn't have any
I
bearing.
think you can do that. We'll also need a stipulation of dismissal filed with the court. And, you know, town council is probably the person to sign that, and I can coordinate that with town council. I can do it through Joanne, whatever you desire.
Okay. All righty.
So-
So, go ahead.
you're going to talk to town council and coordinate them with Joanne. So Joanne only has to work on the order of conditions and at the moment, right?
Correct. I think we do need a formal vote from the commission to authorize the forgiveness of the fines and the tickets and the dismissal with the court of those violation notices.
Oh, we're not dismissing the,
Just the tickets.
Your enforcement orders stay open. These are the violation notices, the tickets that were
The
filed
ticket.
with the court.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Any other comments? Is there a motion to approve forgiveness of the tickets written to Mr. John Hillier? I don't have the number, the exact amount of what they were, but you can fill that in.
Subject to the order of conditions, right? And receiving the stormwater checklist, all that.
that's a separate.
That's totally separate. Okay.
vote. Yep.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was moved by George Bacon, is seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. So Joanne,
Mr. Chairman, for the record, the notices of violation are listed on page 1 of the narrative of the NOI filing.
okay. All right. Thank you. Any other discussion about this? All right.
we voted that, and then we just have to vote to approve drafting an order of conditions.
Is there a motion to approve drafting an order of conditions
Pending receipt of the stormwater checklist.
pending receipt of the stormwater checklist at 0 Central Avenue, DEP file number 100-0451?
So moved.
Second.
Motion was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Yes.
I,
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. That it?
Have to continue.
yeah, we do have to continue so that at our next meeting, we approve the order and authorize Joanne to sign it on our behalf. So in between then, Joanne, you would send a copy of the order to Mr. McKay and Mr. Burchard. And then as with all of them, we'd finalize.
Okay. So motion to continue the public hearing notice of intent, 0 Central Avenue, DEP file number 100-0451 until
The
November
19th,
19th.
Yeah,
So
19.
moved.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess?
I,
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. It's unanimous. All right. We will see you on the 19th.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks, guys.
actually, Unless there's a problem with the order of conditions, it's not necessary for Mr. McKay or Mr. Burchard to be on screen for that meeting, unless there are issues, right?
Right.
That
So-
would seem to make sense.
Yeah. So if there are issues, we'll see you at our next meeting, but if there are not issues and everybody's agreeable with the draft.
I'll be there anyway, Jess.
Whatever.
I'll likely let Mr. Burchard carry the water in case there's any water that needs to be carried, since he's going to be here. But I thank you very much, commissioners, and I'm glad we were able to resolve this, and I look forward to seeing the draft order of conditions. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
I apologize, Jen. We are like herding cats. So
We'll make it up somewhere. Go ahead.
we heard you loud and clear, but so our next public hearing this evening is a notice of intent at 0 Washington Street, Ayer Solar 2B, DEP file number 100-0444. And we need to talk about orders.
Yes. Should I begin? I just want to inform the commission that and Mr. Chairman, through you, that the wetland flag refreshing that was requested has actually been completed today. This afternoon, I got word from the field, so that is completed as requested. I'd also just like to move right into, Joanne has worked with us to put things together and work up the order of conditions. We've reviewed it. Have only a very few possible inconsistencies that I'd just like to put in front of the commission. If I may, I will just share my screen to do so. There's only 5 conditions that I see that possibly need to be untangled just a bit. So let's just begin, if that's acceptable. So on my screen, now hopefully on your screen, you can see this is just a copy and paste of these 5 conditions, ADM 1, pre-C1E, pre-C1I, after C1B, and project 3. I've just gone ahead to try to make this as simple as possible. I've colored a couple of passages from these same sections just to make it simple. First is the roles and responsibilities that are assigned in this draft order of conditions with respect to the environmental monitor. The conflict is somewhat between the ADM 1 and the pre-C1I conditions. That in the pre-C1I, it's requesting that the applicant and designee shall assign an independent third party for the environmental monitor, but up in the ADM 1, it's assigning the environmental monitor to be the applicant's representative. This seems to be incongruous, and also because the environmental monitor is hired by the developer, seems as if the environmental monitor can't actually ever be independent third party. So I just, it seems as if that language may not be applicable. So I leave it to the commission's judgment as to what they'd like to do with that. Then just a couple of questions about process with respect to submissions and approvals by the commission. The submissions to the commission of the method of procedure and the approval. We haven't really outlined what that approval looks like. And at this point in time, we're talking about, we are rolling towards construction with this method of procedure. So I just don't want this to be subject to a delay in meetings and so on. You know, they have to wait 2 weeks and so on might not work so well. So I'm not sure that this is defined sufficiently, and if there was some kind of time frame that might help. Also, The choice of the environmental monitor shall be approved by the commission. Again, another approval process not outlined, and also is putting the commission in direct charge of the professionals that are responsible for monitoring the construction. I'm not sure that the commission wants to take on that responsibility. I urge you to consider that strongly if that's what the commission is trying to do. Also then, the environmental monitor shall ensure that the work in the field matches the work permitted on the plans. But then at the end of the project, a written statement from a registered professional engineer of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts certifying that the work has been completed in compliance with this order of conditions and the approved plans. I think the intent may be in the pre-C1I that the environmental monitor shall ensure the erosion control integrity of the project to protect the BVW or something of that nature, but not that they are the responsible professional engineer that is certifying that the project is built in accordance with the plans. I think that's probably a mismatch of purpose and intent and roles and responsibilities. I leave it to the commission how to talk about that. And then this project 3 comment, we had talked about trees and shrubs and the tree box filters. Yes, it has the name tree box filter, but I harken back to the prior approval by the commission of the fact that it's actually, it's a plant growth that has a root ball. And so the shrubs that are listed on what was approved 2 weeks ago has shrubs in it, and the commission added at the request red maples to that list. Perfectly acceptable, but there is an option there. I just think it might make sense to go ahead and add the trees and shrubs. So those are the things I just wanted to list very quickly for the commission. We have perhaps more to get through, but I just wanted you to see those, what seemed to be, they could be very easily untangled in the wording of the language. Otherwise, we have no issue with the order of conditions as drafted, and we thank you for your time. I'm happy to take this down unless you'd like to discuss these items further.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I think leaving it up for a minute and let us discuss them would be a good idea.
Sure.
Comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, on the environmental monitor, I mean, I think part of our intent was to not have the, in a way, the fox guarding the hen house.
So I respectfully,
Yeah.
through the chairman, this is something that has come up before with this particular project, and I don't know if it's just a trend, but that I don't think is the case. I think what the certification of the environmental inspector that is required is a professional certification that imbues in that professional a professional responsibility to do the job, to document the site, to monitor the site, to report to the commission under the order of conditions. I think to undermine the professional integrity by saying that it's the fox guarding the hen house is a bad precedent, honestly. And I think that you have to rely upon the integrity of the professionals that are doing the work out there in the field. I understand that things can go awry. Honestly, in this case, when you have the developer paying the environmental monitor, I don't know how you separate that unless the commission is paying the environmental monitor.
Well, I suppose, Kyle, really wouldn't be any different than a peer review, correct?
Pardon me?
I guess it wouldn't be any different than a peer review, right? So you guys are paying for the peer review, and so it's a similar sort of situation is what Jess is describing, hence the idea of an independent third party. But again, that's why we're discussing it, and so Jess is just can have her position and how she feels. So
I totally agree.
Fine.
I'm not
Yeah.
meaning to undermine that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's an
you.
incongruity to say it's an independent third party.
No,
It's-
I think though, Kyle, you just have to let us discuss this for a few minutes. You
Right.
know, we might get to that point without you interjecting too. I mean, but we can't discuss these things apart from the meeting. So
My apologies.
this discussion applies not only to this order of conditions, but to others we would offer issue in the future. So, yeah.
We've got about 5 minutes left.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, so yeah, I can understand, Cal, the concern with regards to, you know, the approval of the commission having to go through another process of proposals and things like that. So I totally feel your pain. But as Jess said, yeah, yes, so let's kind of discuss this. I guess the other commissioners, John, Chairman, I could go either way on this. Again, I'm gonna harken back to, you know, professional engineer as it is, as he indicated down in, you know, after C1.b, that yes, you know, they're staking their livelihood, right, and their profession on this this project. So I can go either way. I guess the very last item, so that's what I'll state about the environmental monitor and independent third party. I guess the last item with regards to project 3, right, the trees, right, tree box and all. I could agree to not having it be all trees, but some percentage of that. So that would be my choice there. You know, maybe up to 50% has to be trees, or up to 25% must be trees. You know, something like that. So. Anybody else?
That sounds fine to me on that. I don't know, George or John or Jen, on the issue of the environmental monitor, not just for this order, but for others in the future. And Joanne weighing in. What are people's thoughts? I mean, I'm not, you know, hooked on one position or the other, but
Yeah.
we do need to arrive at some clarity.
Well, I see your point, Jess, but I also see that
Yeah.
these are professionals, and
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that I was you know, for that, but just to raise it so we can get to some sort of clarity ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I add something here? In order to fulfill the desired requirement that the erosion control situation be carefully monitored and appropriately and professionally monitored, takes more than a professional engineer. There are erosion control certifications. CESWI is one and a CPEC is the other that are, for instance, our project on Pingree Hill, Deshang is a certified erosion control specialist who happens to be a professional engineer also. But just because you're a professional engineer does not mean you're an erosion control specialist.
No,
I'm not debating that point.
Yep. Yeah, I was not actually thinking they were the same, one and the same. Joanne, I assumed there was environmental monitor is an actual certification that like you get separately from professional engineer. I only know professional engineer. I don't know about environmental monitoring. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't think environmental monitor is a designation, but the
Okay.
there are erosion control specialty designations. And
Okay. So I would be open to then possibly not being an independent third party per se, but somebody that is, right, EM shall be, thank you, Kyle, certified erosion control specialist, you know, something like that. Yeah, I'd be comfortable in making sure that sort of wording is in there.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I also recommend that the commission have some say over who this person is. You know, we
Well,
in the peer review process, we collect proposals from qualified applicants, and we let the applicant to the project choose, and seems that turnabout is fair play.
Wait a minute, say that again.
All of it.
That who do we let the applicants pick?
When we do a peer review process, we collect proposals and we let the applicant who is being peer reviewed have some say in.
Yeah, except that we're really picking it, and then, I mean, I feel like we've been generally picking the peer reviewer lately that we want. And just, getting a little bit of okay from the applicant.
Well, this is an important part of this project.
Yeah.
We have about a minute left.
I'm sorry, Jen, what?
Sorry, just under a minute left.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Well, I think you guys need to decide how you want these orders to look.
On that, if we put in specific language as to the qualifications for erosion monitoring, so it's not just a professional engineer, but somebody who does have certification in erosion control monitoring, we could write the orders such that that to the extent that we, meaning you, Joanne, review the submitted name by the applicant to confirm that the appropriate certification is there behind the person they pick. I'm not sure that we would want to be in the process of telling somebody who to hire on that.
Oh, I'm not suggesting that you guys tell them who to hire. And I'm a little reluctant to bring up another project in which this very same thing unrolled in a completely different way, which is why I'm putting forth the language in this particular condition the way it is. But it's up to you all.
I think kind of, and Jess, I think this is in line with what you were saying, if we can do it where the wording is very specific about what that person is required to have and that we need proof of that without specifically saying we have to approve the person, I would be fine with that. It feels like it takes a little bit of the approval out while still ensuring that we have a qualified person.
Yeah.
Yep. When you have a chance, Mr. Chairman, could I make a comment?
Okay, very briefly.
We're at time really quickly.
I'm going to speak in favor of keeping the design team as the environmental monitor for the simple fact that they're the ones who did the drawings and they stamp. My preference would be for those people to be responsible throughout the job and they stamp each letter they turn in, similar to controlled construction, where an architect takes control of the project. For a large construction project, they stamp and turn in each letter with their own stamp, saying the project is complying with the design in accordance with the drawings. So they stay involved throughout the project. They're responsible. They did the design. They can see if the construction works and the erosion stays in place. And at the end, they sign the final letter as part of their as-built work. That's my own thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a quick comment, please?
Sure.
I don't disagree with Mr. Diskin, for one thing, but to the kind of the same point, in pre-C1I at the bottom in blue, the EM shall ensure that the work in the field matches the work permitted on the plans. You need to change that language. The environmental monitor is not directing construction. He is not responsible for building what's there, so he has no ability to ensure that the work in the field matches the work on the plans. He can observe it, he can report on discrepancies, but he can't ensure it. So I think you should tighten that language up a little bit and say the environmental monitor shall observe, shall report on, shall bring to the attention of the commission, bring to the attention of the superintendent on the site any discrepancies. But I think if you put in their contract that they have to ensure that it's done, they're going to push back very strongly and say, we have no ability to do that. We have no authority to do that.
Yeah.
Much like we as the engineers have no ability to ensure that the work is done. That is the job of the general contractor on the site. But again, if we have to certify it, then we can bring to his attention that there are things that they're doing incorrectly that they need to fix if they expect us to certify it.
Making that change seems fine to me.
Any other comments about the wording?
Yeah, I'd be comfortable with the the EM shall monitor and I'm sorry, shall observe and monitor that the work in the field matches the permitted work permitted on the plans, and any deviations not should be but will be reported to the commission.
Mr. Chair, one more point on that same thing. I think you need to tighten up work permitted on the plans, because there's an awful lot of work that is happening on those plans that the environmental monitor has no ability or desire to report on. He's not going to look at retaining wall construction and see if it's according to the structural plans. He's not going to be looking at a lot of the things that are happening there. So I think you had some pretty specific language in the decision about what the environmental monitor's responsibilities are with respect to erosion control and things like that. And I think that language should be tightened up as well, much like you would put in his scope of services.
I think we could even just add in applicable, matches the applicable work.
Mhm.
And John, I'm sorry, I know this is super important. We're just really over.
I know. I don't think we're going to get this thing ironed out this evening.
Well,
Are these the main points here that we would just
these are the only points, Mr. Chairman. And if we could just, try to bring this to conclusion so that we could sign next time, that would be optimum. And I apologize for any apparent rudeness to try to rush through this as we have been delayed getting to this point. I appreciate the commission's help and patience in dealing with this.
Yeah. George, comment?
And Kyle, I again, I think in the discussion we've had, I have the general gist of where it should go, so I'm okay with that. And Joanne is as long as you're comfortable with modifying some of the wording, I think one last shot at it next week, before we were to approve it, I think we'd be okay. I don't think there's a ton of work that needs to be done here, but I think it's pretty close.
Well, and I think I could work on these, go back and forth with Kyle on them early in the week, and then circulate them to you all so that you could communicate with me one at a time so that there's no appearance of deliberation, and get it squared away so that it would be able to be signed next time.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. So motion to continue the public hearing at 0 Washington Street, Air Sailor 2B, DEP file number 100-0444 until November 19th.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. So we get this ironed out between Joanne and Kyle, get the wording just right, and have them all written up. We can sign them next meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Kyle. So our next public hearing this evening is the ANRAD off of Wright Road. DEP file number 100-0445. Do we have a representative?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Seth Donahoe with Ducharme and Dillis.
Good evening.
Good evening. I can provide a brief update to the commission if they'd like.
Please.
So last time we met back in September, you had elected to choose Ecotech as the peer reviewer for the ANRAD. We met with Mr. Arthur Allen on the site, and Joanne was kind enough to tag along on September 17th. We agreed to some flag revisions in the field, and Mr. Allen requested some additional documentation related to some of the intermittent streams on site and the stormwater basin at the base of the site. We have completed those revisions. We've provided the commission with some revised plans depicting the location of revised flags. And we've also provided documentation that the streams on the site are indeed intermittent streams and that the stormwater basin at the bottom of the site would not be a jurisdictional wetland area as well. So we gave you a letter reply dated October 15th. And I believe Mr. Allen was kind enough to provide a reply on October 23rd. If you haven't had a chance to review any of those documents, I'd be happy to run through them. Or if you're short on time, I'd wait for the commission to just ask for whatever specifics they need on it.
Yeah, I think we won't go through them right now. We don't have time for that, I don't believe. Mr. Allen, do you have comments?
Yeah, Arthur Allen from Ecotech, a peer reviewer for the commission. I'm in agreement with everything Seth summarized. My only addition is that I reviewed the most recent revised plan with revisions dated November 2nd, and I provided a final second and final comment letter dated November 3rd. So basically, at this point, I just had a couple of recommendations for the ORAD. I'm in agreement with all the documentation submitted, including the revised page 204 of the ANRAD form. And then, let's see, I guess my only outstanding issue that I wanted to defer to the commission on is that Seth mentioned the existing detention basin, which does have some wetland conditions. It appears to have been created as part of the original construction of the subdivision. It's my understanding that basin was properly permitted. Just technically, in order to meet the exemption in 310 CMR 10.4, exempting stormwater basins from regulation as wetland, it needs to be documented that it was created under an order of conditions as part of a approved stormwater system. So I just would defer to the commission on that, because I haven't seen the actual order conditions or documentation. It's been stated that was in place, but I just haven't seen it. So that would be my only outstanding issue. Thank you.
I know I live in the vicinity, and I can attest that prior to the beginning of this development way back in the mid 2000s, that was woods. That basin did not exist.
Okay.
And I did go through the files today to see which orders I could find. And Seth, the order that you are referencing, I think expired and was replaced with 100-0333.
Unfortunately, I don't have the benefit of having worked on the project through its original permitting. It does have an approved definitive subdivision, and our last letter provided some aerial photos that indicated about the date that it was created, somewhere in between 2005 and 2009. If you look at the the photos, it was clearly woods in 2005, and then in 2009, it's clearly a stormwater detention basin at that point with 4 bays and other structures in it. And then I did find one order, as Joanne mentioned. I sent that over to Joanne today, and it would indicate that it references a definitive subdivision, and those structures would be part of that. And I don't doubt that it expired and that they may have sought another order at that point to continue it.
Yep, and I did find the original NOI that's got all the stormwater calculations in it. So while I didn't find an approved plan, having an NOI and stormwater calculations and 2 different notices of intent for the same subdivision, I think we're probably good. Do you think that sounds good, Art?
Yeah, I would agree, given the documentation, the anecdotal comments. I'm comfortable that was created in an upland as part of this original subdivision. Yep.
Any other comments? Comments from anyone viewing? No? So are we gonna, I'm sorry.
I have one question for Art. Art, you said you had some recommendations for the ORAD?
Well, yeah, that's in my November 3rd comment letter. You have that, right?
Well, I thought I did. November 3rd. Yes, so the undelineated area remains on Plan Sheet 2. Either the flagging should be extended or it should be labeled as undelineated area not approved under the ORAD.
Yeah, and he added a note to the plan.
Yeah, I did see a note on the plan.
Yeah, he addressed that comment. The one comment that we haven't talked about is that my number 1, just that should be I would recommend that as a finding in the ORAD, that because the properties listed on the ANRAD are include area much more extensive than what was shown on the plan and reviewed. Yes. So it just should be noted that the area approved is limited to that depicted on the approved plans or revised plans.
Okay.
That's it.
Seth, did you send me an electronic copy of that most recent plan update? I did get the hard copies.
I did send it over, and I will send you another copy as soon as I log off, because I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, that would be great.
The last revision date would be November 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what I reviewed too.
Any other comments?
No.
So are we voting to approve the ANRAD?
Think so.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the ANRAD off Wright Road DEP file number 100-0445?
Second.
It's moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Vote to issue the ORAD? Is that what we do next?
Yes.
Is there a motion to to issue the ORAD off-right road DEP file number 100-0445. As there are some amendments to that or as written.
Well, there's some recommendations in Art's November 3rd letter that will be included in the ORAD.
Okay, yep.
George, I think you have to say moved, so moved.
Second.
Okay, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. So,
And one final one to continue.
and is there a motion to continue the public hearing at Off-Right Road DEP file number 100-0445 until 11/19?
I'll move.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
good
much.
working with you all. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you.
The next item this evening is the public hearing at 0 Washington Street. We don't have a DEP file number assigned yet. Do we have a representative with us?
Yes.
I
Hello.
think we have several.
We have several.
Yes.
Scott Myers from Oxbow Associates. And Joe
Good evening.
Levine's here as the applicant, and Kyle Cormier is with me from Oxbow as well.
All right, good evening.
And,
evening.
I think Alex Para, who is Joe's attorney, is
Yes,
also.
Alex is, okay. If I may, can I share my screen to show some plans?
Of course.
Okay, just to get you oriented here, we have the site located on Washington Street across from the high school, or the junior high school, I should say. This is an ANRAD filing, so we have delineated the wetlands. There's two series, the A series on the eastern side, B series here. And then as we go further north, we're going to switch to the northern sheet. It continues up this eastern side and off site in this direction. But I think that this plan or this figure is going to be helpful to just explain the lay of the land a little bit. We have the same wetlands on the eastern side, the A series and the B series. And we show where we did the vegetative data plots for the BVW here and here and here, the three different locations. And after we had a preliminary site visit with Joanne, she recommended we extend the wetland flags just to make sure they go off to the edge of the property. So we did that in these two directions, just adding about 3 flags. So the site is 21.2 acres. There's wetlands that drain to the south or the west. You know, the south, this one, and this one over here. There's a stream further to the north, but it's not on the project site and quite far away. So we have flags A1 through 59 on the east side and B1 through 18 on the west side here. 3 sets of data sheets like I explained. And we are asking for a review of the wetland boundaries, the resource area confirmation, and we've been provided some of the proposals, and we would like to have ecosystem solutions be the peer review on this. And with that, I'll just answer any questions you have. I mean, it's a forested wetland system, and the site is entirely forested now. except for the power line that goes across the back here, which has been there for a long time and will continue to be there. We've also submitted a conservation analysis, but tonight's focus is on the ANRAD and to get going on the review of the wetland boundary. So with that, I'll leave it for questions.
Questions from commissioners? Sorry. You said that you would be okay with Ecotech? Is that the one that?
No, ecosystem solutions.
Ecosystems. All
That's,
right.
that's,
Oh.
yeah, that's what we
Yep.
prefer, yeah.
Mhm. Can we set up a site walk?
Yes,
We're going to be out and about this coming Saturday. Can we come out on Saturday?
Yeah.
How long would it take at our first one? A half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to meet there at 8 o'clock. So can we meet you at 8:30?
sure.
Okay,
But that would be just with the commission, not the peer review. Is that right? That's
correct. That is correct.
arranged separately.
Yep, that's separate.
Okay.
Okay.
And where for this is a good place to park?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I recommend the high school or the school, junior high across the street probably will be pretty empty on Saturday. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, there's a new parking lot that doesn't show in this
yeah.
aerial photo.
Right about there, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll find you.
Okay.
And we'll see. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Well, we've got everybody here, and since we have a little bit of time, if the folks from Oxbow could run us quickly through their conservation analysis, I think it will help inform the site walk, and it will help us move quickly to the conservation recommendation that's part of this. The proposal for this site is an open space residential development subdivision that requires a conservation analysis and a conservation recommendation from the Conservation Commission to the Planning Board.
Sure. Yeah, so here's again the context of the site, where we are in relation to other land. One thing that I know you've been reviewing another project that was actually just discussed tonight, Air Solar 2, which is right up here, has some rare species issues. We were involved in that for that perspective. But the good thing about this project is that we're going to be able to preserve all this land on the northern side, and it'll abut that other land that will be preserved. So that's a great large chunk of interior type of habitat that you don't have the opportunity to preserve on a regular basis. Again, here's the site a little closer. Here's where the actual habitat boundary comes in through the site for the rare species, and we're keeping everything up here. And so that's that perspective. We have some stone walls. I think that's what this one is. Yeah, stone walls and the property boundaries. And then some pretty large trees that we documented. A lot of them are back in the area that's going to be preserved in conservation, but of course some of them are in this area as well.
They are really quite stunningly amazing.
Here's one of the big birches way in the back of the property. The soil map. The wetlands, I think that's very similar to the map I just showed you. Locust map. I think we have, yeah, the priority classification. So again, trying to minimize the work near the wetlands in these areas. high, medium, and low. And I think we did our photo stations, and that's, you know, a lot of documentation of that. I don't necessarily think we have to go through all of those, but if you have any specific questions on aspects of the conservation analysis, but I'd recommend, like Joanne suggesting, you know, maybe you could flip through this before Saturday, just to have a better idea of the context of the property.
Okay.
And to give you guys a little bit more context, the dead end road to the right of the parcel is Moore Drive, and the house that you see on the west side over here is Ryan and Jesse Clinton's house at the end of Nashua Street. And this is the big wetland system that is in its way to recovering from the oil spill.
Oh, that's over here, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Any comments from people viewing, listening? So is there a motion to continue the public hearing? ANRAD at 0 Washington Street, DEP file number to be determined until 11/19.
So in terms of making a decision on the third-party reviewer, will we do that on the 19th, are you saying?
Well, did you review the?
I haven't fully reviewed them myself.
Okay.
Well, I was hoping that by issuing the RFP subject to the opening of this public hearing and receiving the proposals back by today, that the commission would be able to choose the peer review contractor in cooperation with the applicant, so that we can get the peer review underway. It's November, the clock is ticking,
Yeah.
the leaves are falling. I sent out I sent to 4 firms. We got 3 responses. I think any of them are folks that we would be glad to work with.
Yeah, I read the 3 that came back, and they all seemed more than qualified.
Yeah.
Ecosystem looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go along with that.
Okay. So you're happy with ecosystem? Very good.
I always said ecotech, but
What, George?
I would have preferred ecotech.
Okay.
I thought ecosystems proposal was kind of a sparse.
Fair.
They sort of gave us bare minimum.
All right. Do we want to vote on, do we want to pick it, or are we letting our applicant pick it?
Well, I think we take into consideration
We picked it.
what we picked, yeah.
Can I address that for a moment, if I may, Mr. Chairman?
Who's speaking?
This is Alex Parra. I'm attorney for the applicant.
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. So we reviewed the 3 proposals that were submitted. The reason for our preference for ecosystems is that Oxbow Associates, who did the delineation, have had experience working with all 3 respondents. And given that ecosystems was the least expensive and Oxbow has a very good working relationship with ecosystems, that would be, our preference. We also think that the line is not very complicated in this case. The delineations are not very complicated. So I recognize that perhaps the wording of ecosystems response was, more direct and a little sparser, I guess, but I don't think that means that the scope of services that would be provided by ecosystems would be anything less than you folks would require in order to get reasonable assurance that the line is well flagged and demarcated. So we do have a preference for ecosystems, and given that they're the least expensive, we would ask the commission to go with ecosystems.
John, we've got about a minute.
Thank you, Jen. How do you feel about that, Jess?
That seems fine. I mean, if it's not as complicated as, say, Stratton Hill was for evaluating the ANRAD, and if Joanne's comfortable with all three proposals, then I'd be fine with this.
Jen, how do you feel?
I agree. Ecosystem is fine.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And you'll go along with the crowd, George?
I guess so.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. We'll make it up to you.
I'm looking forward to hearing how that's going to happen. But all right, we'll see you. Well, did we?
Saturday morning at 8:30
Saturday morning at 8:30.
and November 19th.
Yeah, so we have to complete the motion to continue
Yeah, we
the
didn't.
19th. Yeah.
Just one other quick thing, if I may, Mr. Chairman. What's the process for depositing the peer review fee with the Conservation Commission? Just deliver a check tomorrow, or what would you?
Alex, I can be in touch with you tomorrow about
Okay.
the process.
Very good. Thank you.
We got to vote on accepting ecosystems and selecting ecosystems.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve Ecosystem Solutions, Inc. as a third-party review for 0 Washington Street, DEP file number to be determined?
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. So shall we continue our motion to continue the public hearing at 0 Washington Street, EP file number to be determined until November 19th.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. All right, we will be there Saturday morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, we have 15 minutes left and 33 left on our agenda.
Okay, well, Our next item this evening, and by the way, thank you for that, but next item this evening is public hearing and a notice of intent at Snake Hill Road right-of-way, Aho Development, DEP file number 2B determined. And Mr. Burke, is it Mr. Burke?
Yes, Patrick Burke.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I'm a civil engineer with Places Associates, representing the applicant Aho Development. If I can share my screen, I can put up some plans we can look at.
Yeah, please.
What we're doing is the subdivision for Shaker Mill Pond subdivision is located in this area next to Shaker Mill Pond. We're proposing to connect into the sewer and water main up here on Snake Hill Road. The work is going to take place in Shaker Road and Snake Hill Road, and then travel up Littleton Road to the continuation of Snake Hill Road. This is a larger scale plan of the development. We're going to be starting on Shaker Road. Right now, Snake Hill Road is not paved in this area. Wetland was delineated by Oxbow Associates as part of the Shaker Mill Pond subdivision and was confirmed by the Conservation Commission. Place Associates also went out around this area and the upland area along the road and reconfirmed the wetland areas. In order to stay out of the wetlands, we're proposing directional drilling starting on Shaker Road in this area, traveling north up Snake Hill Road, tying the water line right on Littleton Road, and then taking a 90-degree bend on Littleton Road to tie into the sewer on Snake Hill Road. We believe we're going to be able to stay out of the wetland area into the buffer zone, traveling underneath the Snake Hill Road within the right-of-way. And there is also area of, there's a small culvert here that has been removed. So there is a riverfront area located in the area, but we will be able to stay out of that, we believe. And that's it in a nutshell, if there's any questions.
So the Snake Hill Road you have on the screen that's not constructed, what does it look like? I mean, I don't remember even any sort of indication of a road there.
It's right now it's treed. There's overhead wires, telephone poles going through the area. That's about it. There's a wetland area on this side of it, and on this side is Shaker Mill Pond. So it's mostly vegetated right now with a little bit of clearing where the electric poles are.
Any other comments from commissioners?
What time of the year, when are we proposing the work to be done?
The time frame?
Yeah.
Right now we're doing the state highway permit through the Mass DOT. We anticipate that'll take through the winter, so we would like to do it as quick as we can, but probably in the springtime. This is the most realistic time.
Okay, all right.
And at what point would you start the directional drilling underground, and then where would it come out?
We would set up here. There'd be a area here for the drill rig, and we'd dig a small trench here about 8 feet by about 20 feet long. Then directional drill underneath Snake Hill Road, exit for the water. Up here, another pit, about a 8 by 8 pit would be dug in the Littleton Road right away here for the water. That would complete the water service. We would also install a manhole here for the sewer line. Dig another pit here to expose to get to the manhole, and then directional drill set up here, directional drill towards Littleton Road at the intersection of Snake Hill Road and complete that connection.
How deep is your drilling?
Within here, we're gonna go about 5 feet deep underneath existing grade. Probably not following the contours as much as we would. It would be a nice sweep through here. And then underneath Littleton Road, we would probably go a little bit deeper because of the existing infrastructure and utilities in the road.
So it's 2 lines of directional drilling, one along the Snake Hill Road not constructed section, and then another line under Littleton Road?
Yes, there'll be the water main will extend from Shaker Hill Road along the unconstructed Snake Hill Road and tie into Littleton Road directly. The existing sewer line is on the extension of Snake Hill Road across from Littleton Road that we'd be tying into an existing manhole at the intersection.
So the only disturbance will be those pits at the ends.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the work is all in the buffer zone.
Mhm. Any other comments from commissioners?
So are you doing 2 drills up Snake Hill Road, one for the sewer and one for the water?
Yes.
Your plans show a dewatering pit. Where's that going to be?
Up on this side, if we need a dewatering pit on this area, we can extend it up here outside of on the owner's property, outside of the 100-foot buffer zone up here.
Okay.
And in this area, we can extend it in this easement area here with hay bales up here. And this pit for the water will be on the other side. There's silt sacks. There's existing catch basins here that we're proposing to put silt sacks in, and we'd have the hay bales surrounding the sump pit outside of the catch basins.
Okay.
And you're saying you only need to go 5 feet deep to get under that section of dam where the beavers usually lock up their stuff?
Yep, you can. What you need to do is the directional drill is able to extend upward, so they can angle right in the pit that we dig to get the angle we need to get underneath the beaver dam area.
Okay.
Can I add a comment, John?
Yes, please.
I did talk with DEP about whether a stream crossing that goes under the stream is as much of a stream crossing as a stream crossing that goes over the stream. and they're still scratching their heads about that. So more to come, no doubt, from DEP when they issue a final number on this.
Although with the extension of the water line from Wright Road over to Sandy Pond Road, that involved basically a stream crossing too.
Right.
They didn't have a problem with that one.
Yeah, I wasn't here when that happened.
Yeah. Well, you've been here forever.
Some days it feels like it.
So can we
You
set
were.
up?
I think I was here, so I think you were here.
Yeah.
That was right on Sandy Pond Road there.
Yeah.
A year or two ago. It was very, very early when I just got here, but yeah, it had to be winter of 18 or something like that, 18, 19.
Yep.
I do remember inspecting when they pulled all the stuff out, and the drill rig was really very interesting. Jen,
I have no other questions.
how's our time?
We have 7 minutes left in the meeting and this.
So should we do a site walk just to look at the ends of this?
Yep. Can we set up a site walk this coming Saturday?
Yes.
Probably the site walk at 0 Washington Street is going to take more than a half hour, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I bet it's going to take 40 minutes if we're going to walk all the way to the back of it.
Okay.
At 9:30.
Yep. Yep. How about 9:30?
Who's bringing lunch?
Yes, I can do that.
And we will, where should we park?
I would recommend the intersection of Shaker Road and Snake Hill Road. There's a dirt road up in this area we can go into.
Show that again, please. I didn't see where that was.
Right at the intersection where the subdivision is, there's a dirt road and a dirt path here we can.
Yeah, by that beaver dam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Hello. Can you hear me?
Who's speaking?
This is Dan Aho.
Oh, good evening. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I also have the barn right there, so they could park in the barn. I have a parking lot the barn right at that corner there. Right at the corner where Shaker Road takes the sharp turn.
Okay.
And the problem is, I think we're going to also probably have to get back in our vehicles and drive around and park up on Snake Hill to look at the other end, and because we can't walk through across that. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All righty, well, we will see you Saturday morning, November 7th at 9:30.
Excellent.
At the Beaver Dam side.
Yep.
At Beaver Dam side.
Damn it.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay,
And motion to continue
Yeah.
to the 19th.
yep. Is there a motion to continue the public hearing notice of intent, Snake Hill Road right-of-way, Aho Development, DEP file number to be determined until November 19th?
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Yes?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. We will continue on the 19th. Next item this evening, very briefly, request of extensions of orders of conditions at Woodland Way. We have 5 orders to extend. Can you walk us through this, Joanne?
Yes. Hi, Francis.
Hello.
Francis is Desheng's right-hand man. So the Pingree Hill development subdivision work on Woodland Way is progressing nicely. These 5 houses have been started. They're in various stages of foundations are in, building has begun. The orders are due to expire near the end of November.
November 30th.
November 30th, the very end of November. And the applicant is looking to extend all of these orders for 1 year in order to complete the construction.
Okay. Any issues with that? I don't think, right? So we just make a motion to continue or
Motion to extend.
motion to extend the orders of conditions, DEP file number 100-0413 until, well, just for 1 year.
Second.
So George Bacon moved, Mark Phillips seconded. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Is there a motion to extend the orders of conditions on DEP file number 100-0414 for 1 year?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Is there a motion to extend the orders of conditions 219 Woodland Way DEP file number 100-0416 for 1 year?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. Is there a motion to extend the orders of conditions at 237 Woodland Way DEP file number 100-0417 for 1 year?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. And lastly, is there a motion to extend the orders of conditions at 259 Woodland Way DEP file number 100-0418 for 1 year?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. All righty, gentlemen. You have a year.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank
Tried
you.
to make it quick.
It was pretty quick. All right.
Francis, I'll get those out on Monday.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, and tomorrow I'll be back there and get you another report, see how everything's looking.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have a report that I did on Friday, but everything is covered in like 3 inches of snow, so you can't really see anything. But
Awesome.
yeah, the site looks good.
Good.
We put in some driveway sub bases and some mud traps for those active lots that didn't have any. So everything's going well.
Perfect. We'll look forward to the report.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
gentlemen.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Do we have any time to extend, or are we pretty much done? We're over, right?
It's 9:01, so it's up to Cindy how long we're allowed to stay.
Oh, the pressure. If you need a few more minutes, go ahead.
Okay. All right, Joanne, you want to do?
Yeah, we really need only 30 seconds. At our next meeting, I think we can move on notice of intent for the 1 Bishop Road enforcement order. We've got the updated plan. We should be able to just get that completely squared away. And the RDA for the MBTA project is scheduled for the next meeting. They would like to be first on the agenda because they've got another meeting that night. And I can't urge you strongly enough to read the MACC response to this RDA. This RDA is happening in 103 towns. And the what's being requested of commissions is, in MACC's opinion, not the right question for the MBTA to be asking.
Yeah, I thought we discussed this last time. Didn't we say we were gonna like push this off until we heard something from DEP? Maybe was it?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there had been a little bit of that. It wasn't just MACC's response, but it wasn't DEP trying to work something out with them.
Well, I think they may have been. We don't have anything. I'm more than happy to call the consultant and put this off until the end of the new year. At some point, we're going to have to face it. And I don't really know how far DEP is getting with anything. So give me
all the stuff that we just continued tonight. I would say at least push it off at least one more meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I will do that. So the first meeting in December.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Want to do any updates?
I have been so busy, I don't even have any updates.
Member updates? No? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Mark? Chairman votes aye.